Okay, guys. So first of all, I have deemed this Mel Spa. Like, this is where you're going to see me every day because it's my comfy zone. So today we're going to talk again about MyFitnessPal and how to utilize that, especially if you're doing it for the first time or if you're trying to change a couple of things. I just want to go through that. So I printed pictures this morning so you can see what it looks like. Now, the great thing about MyFitnessPal is that it's obviously networked in. You can get on it, whether it's on your phone, whether it's on a tablet, whatever, or your laptop or computer, whatever. You have options and it will save everything no matter which style, which platform you're using. So I want to talk about a couple of first things on how to do some setup. So if you're not quite sure how to do this, it's actually really not that tough, and I'm a technophobe. So if I can figure it out, you can figure it out as well. So I did print pictures. So the first thing that you're going to see, now this is directly from my phone, so it may look a little bit different if you're using a different platform. Just keep that in mind. But the first thing that you're going to see, I feel like I'm in school trying to show you flashcards. So the first thing that I'm going to show you is this is an iPhone version. It's going to be a little bit different if it's on a Droid, so keep that in mind. But the first thing that you're going to see is something just a little bit like this, and you can see across the bottom that there is a menu. And on that menu, it says home, diary, progress, and more. So obviously the diary is where you're going to start entering your food. It'll take you straight there. We'll go to that in a minute. But the first thing that I do want to show you is I'm going to have you go under live. Now what we're going to do first is I'm going to show you how to change your macros, because next week your challenge is going to be to follow actual macros that I give you. Now granted, that's just based on some basic formulas, a little different algorithm than MyFitnessPal uses, because like I said the other day, MyFitnessPal gives you a lot of carbs, and you're not going to burn fat if you're going to eat the majority of your food in carbs. So keep that in mind. All right, so we're going to go and we're going to change your carbs and calories. Now, the first thing you have to do is actually change the calories in order for everything to set right. So you're first going to go under more, and hopefully this shows up. I don't know if it shows up backwards, but just kind of look where I'm pointing and then get on your phone and figure it out. Okay, so you're going to go under that first. So the next thing that's going to pop up is a list under more. And it's going to look something like this. Now, again, that might be backwards. I'm not sure how that's showing up on your screen, but you're looking for where it says goals, and there's like a little bullseye right there. Okay, so you're going to click on goals. Now, under goals, you're going to look for, it's going to look something like this. It says goals at the top, and then it has like your actual goals that you've probably entered in there already when you set it up, which is like weight, what your current weight is, what your goal weight is. This is so old for me that it's not even accurate for that because I haven't messed with that in a while. But what you're looking for is nutrition goals right there. So under nutrition goals, you are going to click on calorie, carbs, protein, and fat goals, okay? Because that's what we're changing. We're changing your macros, which is protein, fats, carbs, right? So you're gonna click on that, and you're going to see something like this, where it pops up. It's going to have calories, and then it's gonna have the different macronutrients, carbohydrates, proteins, and fats. Now, that might be some weird numbers. Like I said, what it's based on when you put your goals in there is a really simple basic algorithm, and they give it the same to everybody, which makes zero sense to me, but I get it. It's the program. It's still a great tool. So the first thing you're going to do on there is you're going to click on calories, which is the top one right there. Okay, you're going to click on calories, and it's going to actually when you click on it, it pulls up the whole thing. So it's going to pull up something like this. Now, the first thing I'm going to do, so calories right up there. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to change that. So up pops this little keypad thingy down here, and you're going to actually have to probably go delete, delete, delete on what the current calories are at the top there, and then enter the current calories that I will give you. Now, again, this is just basic. We're going to just see how your body responds to that, and then if it's working, we stay with it, and if it's not working, then we make some changes. So the first thing you have to do is you have to change the calories, and you have to save it. If you don't save it, it'll go back to whatever it gave you before. So you're going to click on, there's a little check mark right there, and that means, okay, it's done, and save it. That has to be done before you attempt to change your macronutrients. So once you've done that, you can then change the macronutrients. Now, it gives you like this spinner option. Okay, it's gonna look something like this. Again, I hope that's thanks, Hope. I've had this tank top forever. I need some new ones, but I love this one. I think it's Under Armour, maybe. I'll have to look at it later. Okay, so it's going to give you some little spin dials there. Now, whatever you enter has to equal 100%. And if it doesn't, it's going to tell you what percentage it's at. And it's going to be red until you hit 100%. Now, what I mean by that is that as you spin it, it's going to come up with the totals on the top. Now, whatever macros I get you, it might not be perfect. Like if I give you 55 and you can only hit 58 on there, that's okay. We want it just to be as close as possible. So I would say that if you have to err in one direction, err a little low on carbohydrates and a little higher on fats or proteins. But as long as it's close, we don't care because it's a guideline. It's not dead, right? Like if you don't hit it perfectly every day, you're not going to get where you want to go. That's your goal is just, it's to give you kind of a guideline. So once you do that, then you're going to click on the check mark. So it saves it. Then that will start to pop up on your food diary every time that you enter your food so that you know that's what you're going for, not what they originally gave you. Okay. So that's how to change the macros in your settings in MyFitnessPal. Now, the other thing that people like to change is how your food pops up on the page. And what I mean by that is, so when you first set up MyFitnessPal and you go in to put your food in the diary, it will say breakfast, lunch, dinner, and then snacks in one like chunk. I don't like that because I want to know if I'm looking at your meal plan, I want to know when you're eating those foods throughout the day. So if you're eating like all your snacks in one time like a meal, or I just want to know that because that gives me more data on how you do your nutritional intake. So if you want to change it and you want to put like breakfast, snack, lunch, snack, dinner, you can actually do that. So how you're going to do that is you're going to go back to your main home page. Okay. You're going to click on more again. Okay. Now this time you're going to look for, so this is the same, this little more menu. Okay, you're going to scroll down and you're looking for settings right there. Okay, settings. So you're going to click in settings. And what's going to happen is I'm not sure if it goes straight to diary settings. It might. If not, you're going to look for diary settings because that's the menu right there is diary settings. So in diary settings, you're going to go under customize meal names. Okay, customize meal names right there. Once you do that, it's going to pop up and it's going to give you an option. Now it's going to tell you what it currently is, and then it's going to give you options for what you're going to do, and you just click on each one and you change it. Okay. Notice that mine is meal 1, meal 2, meal 3, meal 4, meal 5, meal 6. Predominantly because when I was competing, I ate 6 small meals a day. I don't necessarily tend to do that. It just depends on the day now, but that worked for me because that way it was like made it easy, you know, what I was eating at each meal. But it's totally up to you as how you go. If I've given you a meal plan, if you're one of my current coaching clients and for nutrition and I've given you a meal plan, it's going to tell you what those headlines should be, right? Breakfast snack, lunch snack, or whatever. Okay. Pre-workout meal. So you can change it to whatever you want. I wanted to go back really quick and show you one more thing on the more page. There is a way to change when you invite friends. If you want to allow, you're welcome, Tanya. I tried to do it on my iPad yesterday and you couldn't see it. So I was like, let's just print it out because then it doesn't like freak out my camera. So there's a spot right here. Let's see if I can find it again. It is under settings, I believe. And it's under diary settings. And privacy in order to change whether or not your friends can see what you're eating. Now, it's totally up to you, but when I work with clients and they're asking me, you know, what am I not doing right? Like I'm not getting where I want to go. Can you take a look at my meal plan or can you look at my food diary and see what you recommend? I'm like, great. Open your diary to friends. You don't have to open it to public because I don't want the public to necessarily know what I'm eating. It's none of their business. But my friends, that's fine. So you're going to go into privacy, open your diary to friends. And as long as we're friends, then I can hop on there and look. Now, I don't take a peek without permission because I don't have time. I have like 500 friends on my MyFitnessPal. So don't be thinking that I'm in there stalking you because I'm not. I don't have time for that. But that way I can hop in there and I can look and see because maybe you're hitting your macros, but you're not getting where you want to go. Just recently I had one of my former clients do that and I said, well, let me take a look at what you're doing. And I looked in there and she was eating a whole lot of processed carbohydrates. And I said, honey, you need to cut back on that. That's why you're really struggling to lose that last 10 pounds. So Again, that can sometimes allow me to troubleshoot with you without having to have you flash a bunch of things to send me pictures of it. I'd rather just scroll through your stuff. It makes it a lot easier for me. Okay, the last thing that I want to show you, if you are not used to entering food into your food diary, it's not that difficult. It takes a little bit of time to learn how to do that, but over time you'll actually learn some things, such as you can actually save whole recipes. So, and then divide them into serving sizes. So let's say that you've made chicken noodle soup for your family for dinner. You enter the entire amount of your ingredients. So like, let's say that you use 2 cups of carrots, 4 cups of potatoes, I don't know, 8 cups of broth, whatever, right? You can actually enter all of that into a recipe and save it as something specific so you can go back to it another time. And all you have to do is say, okay, well, that entire batch made 12 servings. So then you can break it down and say, okay, Melissa's chicken noodle soup, and I had 2 servings of it today. And then it comes up with the very specific macros that you used for that. It makes it so much easier, especially if you like to do a lot of home cooking, especially right now because we're all home. So that gives you some really great options. You can also save, there's a way actually, if you look at each day, and I'll show you this in just a second. Okay, I'll show that to you real quick. So if you know where your food diary is, right there, click on it on the main page, okay? And then you're gonna get up something like this. Now again, my titles are a little different than yours probably are because mine are meal 1, meal 2. And you can't really see it right here, but if you want to add, like let's just say that you are eating the same thing today as you ate yesterday, there is a way to swipe it and it will put everything that you typed in yesterday, it'll put in for today. You can also do that, I believe, with a single meal. I'm not 100% sure how to do that because I don't tend to do that much, but that is an option as well. The other thing that I wanted to show you is that if you want to, so in order to add food, you just have to click on add food, and then it will do a couple of things. It'll come up with a search for food spot right there where you can type in what you're looking for, and it will also come up with a list of frequently added foods for that meal. So if you looked really close on mine, you'd see I tend to add like green peppers quite a bit, yams, certain things. It will pop up my most popular things for that meal, so that if you tend to eat the same kind of, like eggs for breakfast, that pops up a lot for me. So I just click on it and then I choose the serving size. But the other thing that I really like about this, even though I don't use it much anymore because I don't eat a whole lot of products with labels, but there is a little spot right here that is a barcode. That is a barcode scanner. So if you click on that, it'll come up on your phone. It'll ask you if your phone can use the camera. Give it permission, and then you can actually, this is my Zevia this morning. It uses stevia, not sucralose. So I can scan the label and it will literally pop up what that product is and then allow you to choose the serving size. Now, of course, the serving size is super important, so make sure you get that right. I've had things pop up where you do have to be very careful. Some of the entries in MyFitnessPal are user entered. So I remember this a long time ago, one of my clients entered a piece of cake. And I don't remember what kind, don't remember anything but that, but it entered calories, but it didn't have any of the other macros. Well, cake has a lot of sugar in it. And so because it didn't have any sugar, it was showing that it was something that she could have normally, and it wasn't going to affect her food plan. That was incorrect. So you have to be really careful, especially if you know the brand. I highly recommend that you enter the specific brand that you are using or eating. And if you don't have the label, make sure that you're looking for that brand. So like if I'm using, let's just say Quaker brand rice cakes, I don't want to enter just generic, what is Safeway, like something select, because they might be a little bit different. I like to be pretty dead on at least with that because even though the label tells you what the nutrients are, some of those labels can be as much as 25% off. So being as precise as you can with that at least alleviates any sort of, we're trying to have a small margin of error as possible. There's something else I was going to tell you about that too, and I don't remember what it was. But anyway, so once you scan on that, then you can enter that. One of the things people don't realize is if you are using MyFitnessPal on your phone, you can actually turn your phone sideways and you get all the nutrient details. Oops, is that upside down? Nope, it might be backwards. When you enter it, you're only going to see the calorie portion of it, right? Unless you go to the total page of that particular product, something for another time. But if you want to see your totals for all the macros, kind of like what I give my clients when I give them their meal plans, because it has all of the macros and all the information entered in there. I should say those are sample meal plans, by the way. But if you look on here, it gives you all the information that you need. So as you enter your food in each day, it's going to tell you the totals that you're at so far, what your goals for the day are, right? What you entered in when we changed your goals on that page, and then how much is remaining. Now, you can see there's different colors, okay? There are, some of them are in green on the remaining, and some of them are in red. Red means you are over. Green means you are under. So keep that in mind. So like this one, and again, I use this to do other people's meal plans. So this one says like minus 105. So I'm over on carbohydrates on that one, or calories by 105. It doesn't matter because that's not my meal plan. I was working on it for somebody else. So that just means be careful, because sometimes people are like dead on calories. And when I look at their totals on MyFitnessPal, I'm like, that's great that you're on calories, but you're over carbohydrates by like 100 grams and you're way under protein. So we know that those different macronutrients do different things. That's why paying attention to the macros is important. Now, I know that there's a whole diet based around that if it fits your macros. I'm not against that. I kind of use an altered form of that. What I don't like about the original plan for that is it really gives too much leeway on what those products can be, because I've had people hop on, put their stuff in and go, but ice cream's carbohydrates, it fit my macros. And I'm like, seriously, like, are you really that dumb, to be honest? Processed food is processed food. It's quality matters as well. So we do kind of use kind of an alter if it fits your macros, because we know that each of those macros do different things. And depending on your goals, your percentages will change. So if you're trying to grow some muscle, most people aren't right now because we don't have enough equipment because we can't get to the gym. But if you're trying to grow, you're going to get more carbohydrates than normal, because we want your body to use the proteins to build and maintain muscle. If you're trying to lean, we're usually going to go a lot lower on carbohydrates, because we want our body to learn to burn fats as fuel. So you tend to have a little bit higher fats, lower carbohydrates, depending on your body, your genetics, and some other things, and then a moderate amount of protein. So again, I know it's a little complicated. And that's not my goal. I'm not trying to get you confused. I'm just trying to teach you how to do a couple of necessary things on MyFitnessPal. And if there's anything specific that you want to learn, let me know, because I'll print some more out so that you can see what I'm talking about. It just makes it a lot easier to do it this way than, there's no way I can come to your houses right now and teach you how to do that individually. So, if I can show you how to do this, we're doing great. So have an incredible day, you guys. Hopefully that was helpful. I hope you are doing awesome. I love that you guys are supporting each other. I think we've got everybody that's supposed to be on there. I know we're waiting for Jessie to pop up and do some things too. So hopefully she'll be able to get on here, because we love her. But anyway, yeah, if you have questions, we'll definitely answer them. That's how I'll do a lot of these educational options. So definitely ask all the questions that you want, you guys. All right, I love this. We're doing great. Keep going. You guys got this. Can you imagine what it's going to be like when the gyms are back open and we're all like, dude, we've been working on it the whole time, and everybody else is like, yeah, I gained 20 pounds. So yeah, no excuses. I have no patience for that garbage. That's just stupid. All right, guys, have an incredible day, and keep the questions coming. We'll talk to you soon.